Test, test.
Good evening. Welcome to the February 18th, 2020 meeting of the Pacifica Planning Commission. Could we please get a roll call?
Commissioner Berman.
Present.
Acting Chair Niblin.
Present.
Commissioner Kraske.
Here.
Commissioner Bigstick.
Present.
Thank you. I think we'll go ahead and move into this salute to the flag, and we'll ask Commissioner Kraske to lead us.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Kraske. So the first thing on our administrative business is approval of the order of agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the order of agenda? Commissioner Berman.
I move that we approve the order of agenda.
Is there a second?
I second that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Kraske. I have a motion and a second. Let's go ahead and vote. Unanimously approved on a 4-0 vote. Thank you. So we've got minutes from January 21st, 2020, and the next order of business is the approval of those minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of January 21st, 2020? Are there any comments on it? Commissioner Bigstick, is that your line?
It is. I will move to approve the minutes.
Okay, I've got a motion. Is there a second?
I second that.
Commissioner Kraske, second. Motion and a second. Let's go ahead and vote. Thank you. Unanimously approved on a 4-0 vote. It looks like our next matter on the agenda is designation of a liaison to the City Council meeting of February 24th. This is for the LCLUP adoption. Christian, could you walk us through that?
Certainly. So in addition to this, we've learned of an appeal of the Planning Commission's recommendation as well, which will be considered concurrently with the City Council's consideration of the LCLUP adoption. This action that's listed on the agenda here, if you recall, is the follow-on action from the Planning Commission's recommendation on the local coastal land use plan, which the City Council will consider on February 24th for final adoption. At that point, the city will transmit the LCLUP to the Coastal Commission and begin the formal certification process.
Thank you. Is there anybody who's available for the February 24th, 2020 meeting who'd like to volunteer to serve as liaison?
I could be available if no one else would like to attend.
Okay, it looks like your light was on as well, Tiger.
It is. I regularly attend the meetings. I will be there that night, I'm relatively certain, and I'm happy to do it as well, although I'm happy to turn it over. I've had plenty of time at City Council and the liaison position.
Well, I think if the rest of my colleagues were amenable, I think it would be good to have Commissioner Berman available to
Sure, I'd be
speak
happy
to the matter, and appreciate your being available as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So we'll designate then Commissioner Berman by sort of, it looks like unanimous acclamation, so thank you. Commissioner Campbell, welcome. So then we'll move to the next item on the agenda, which is oral communications, and this is the portion of the agenda that's available to the public to address the Planning Commission on any issue within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Commission that is not on the agenda. The time allowed for any speaker will be 3 minutes. I don't have any speaker slips, and frankly, there's no one here who would submit one, it doesn't look like. So we're just going to move on to the consent items, of which there are none, so we'll move past that one as well. And that takes us to the one public hearing we have for the evening, and that is SP 17219, which is file number 2019-037 for specific plan SP 17219, filed by Preston Fung to construct a 3,111 square foot, 3-story single-family residence on an undeveloped 6,105 square foot lot at 323 Beaumont Boulevard. The recommended CEQA action for this matter is a Class 3 categorical exemption, CEQA Guidelines Section 15303, and staff's recommended action is to approve this application as conditioned. Go ahead and ask staff for a report on the matter.
Thank you. Good evening, Planning Commissioners. Christy Usher with the City of Pacifica Planning Division. The project for your consideration tonight is an application to construct an approximately 3,000 square foot, 3-story single-family residence on a vacant 6,000 square foot lot at 323 Beaumont. By way of background, the project was originally approved by the Planning Commission in 2015. However, the planning approval expired last year. The owner is moving forward, though, with the application and has reapplied for planning approval. The proposed project is substantially the same as the originally approved plans, with only minor changes to the interior floor plan and site improvements. Specifically, the original terraced retaining walls in the rear yard were simplified, and as a result, there are fewer retaining walls as well as less excavation under the proposed project tonight. Also, since the 2015 approval, 3 new residences were approved by the Planning Commission in 2016 and 2019 at 325 and 327 Beaumont, as well as 300 Coral Ridge. The design of the proposed project tonight is similar to these approved projects, as well as existing residences in the project vicinity in terms of form, massing, height, and appearance. The project site slopes steeply upward from the front property line, as do the other vacant and developed single-family lots in the project vicinity. To ensure stability of the hillside, as well as existing building foundations, conditions of approval were incorporated into this project, which relate to coordinating excavation and grading activities with other approved projects in the immediate project vicinity. As detailed in the staff report, the proposed project meets the findings for approval for the required site development permit, including but not limited to compliance with the zoning code, the general plan, and the city's design guidelines. Therefore, staff recommends the Planning Commission approve the proposed project. That concludes the staff report, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. The applicant and designer is also present to present and field any questions as well.
Thank you, Ms. Usher. Is this your first meeting with us?
It is.
Well, welcome.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Are there any questions for Ms. Usher before we move on to the public hearing and hearing from the applicant? Okay. I don't see any lights.
One question.
Sure, go
What was
ahead.
the reason for the delay in, and then having the project original approval expire?
Okay, so why don't we go ahead then, and we'll hold that until we open the public hearing. Any other questions for staff at this time? Okay, I don't see any additional lights, so we'll go ahead and open the public hearing, and we'll, of course, start as we typically do with the applicant, and you have 10 minutes. No need to use all of it if you don't need all of it.
Thank you, and good evening. My name is Brian Brinkman, applicant on the project, representing the homeowners who were unable to be here tonight. Just to give you the history on the project, 2015, it was originally approved. The current by the current homeowners. They had some family members that were involved, and they were all going to build this house together. The original design had some tiered retaining walls in the backyard to try and create a lot of rear yard space. As we got into the engineering part of it after the planning approval, the massiveness of the walls and their close relation to each other, we weren't able to use standard construction methods. We had to use soil nail walls, in which you have to have a special soil nail company who has their own engineers do it, and it just got to be too expensive for them at the time. Family dynamics changed, they put it on hold, tried to sell the lot, weren't able to do that, and then their financial situation got better, and now they picked it up again. We altered the rear retaining walls to simplify things. The original project had roughly 1,500 square feet of excavation, and we're down to 900 square feet, so 40% less, which will be a huge, better for the site, and a lot less construction costs as well, which will help push them through this time. We were probably maybe 3 weeks away from getting the building permit when it expired. There was just some coordination that took longer than expected between the civil and the structural to finalize all the retaining wall details, and they had no further means to extend the permit any further, so we're here beginning the process again. As Christy mentioned, the retaining walls were the main design change. We also eliminated the elevator. There was a 3-story elevator in the original one that we eliminated, reduced the big storage area behind the garage that wasn't needed, and then just kind of reconfigured the 3rd floor once we got rid of the elevator to make it function better. But otherwise, the exterior and everything is the same project that was originally approved. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you, Mr. Brinkman. Are there any questions for Mr. Brinkman at this time? I'm sorry. Commissioner Berman, go ahead.
Just out of curiosity, what does the owner intend to do with the home? Do they intend to live in it or rent
Yeah,
it?
live in it. Yes.
I'm not seeing any more lights. I had a quick question, and that was, it sounded like there was a 600 square foot reduction, and if math's not my thing, but it sounded like there was a pretty significant reduction, again, in the amount of grading that was going to be necessary.
600 cubic yards of
Cubic
dirt,
yards, right.
yeah.
And what does that represent in terms of kind of off-haul trips, assuming there was going to be off-haul involved?
That's probably 60, 70 trucks.
That just strikes me as a real positive development along those lines. Okay. Well, there aren't any people here to comment on the matter, so I'm just going to say that for the record. I guess we can go ahead, seeing no other lights, we can go ahead and close the public hearing. Thank you. I'll bring the matter back to the commission for discussion. Any discussion on the matter? I see no lights, so we can, I guess, move to the next question. Is anybody prepared to make a motion at this time? In particular, a motion to approve the project would be in order if, in fact, anybody's prepared to make that motion. Commissioner Berman.
I'm ready to make a motion if there's no other questions or comments. I move that the Planning Commission finds the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, approves specific plan SP-172-19 by adopting the attached resolution, including conditions of approval in Exhibit A, and incorporates all maps and testimony into the record by reference.
Thank you. And before I move to Commissioner, is that Big Sticks? Is that your light?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. I wanted to note that, and I think I noted in passing Commissioner Campbell's arrival, but Commissioner Campbell arrived before this item was presented, so he's been here for the entire consideration of the matter. Commissioner Big Stick.
Happy to second.
Thank you. So I've got a motion, a second. Why don't we go ahead and vote? So the project has been unanimously approved on a 5-0 vote. Thank you very much. That will take us then, I guess there's a little blurb here that we would typically read about appeals. Could you remind me where that is in the packet? And is that required to be read?
I think the most recent opinion I heard is that it's not required. It's stated in the agenda.
Thank you. Well, I'd refer folks to the agenda if they have any questions about the appealability of the matter. That will take us then to communications. And are there any commission communications? Commissioner Kraske, is that your line?
Yep. Yeah, I just want to mention that tonight will likely be my last meeting with the commission. My appointment expires at the end of February, I believe, and I will not be reapplying. I have 2 young kids, so it's a pretty big commitment raising my 2 young children right now, so I don't have the time necessarily to fully commit to this moving forward.
Well, we've appreciated serving with you. Commissioner Campbell.
Tonight may be mine as well. I'm not sure. Is it? Or do we have?
If you give me a minute, I think it's the second meeting in March that the City Council is considering appointments.
I just thought I was tracking with Kraske, so.
Okay.
Well, we
Didn't have my 10-minute speech prepared tonight, so.
well, hold on to it. We'll
You'll be
do
able to
open
work.
mic fee at some future meeting, but again, really have appreciated serving with you. I don't see any other lights for commission communications. That'll take us to staff communications.
I'll just follow up on the commission communications. March 23rd is the latest agenda planner date for the City Council's consideration of appointments to the Planning Commission. So I think Commissioner Campbell, you had expressed your intention to serve until a replacement was identified. And Commissioner Kraske, thank you for the announcement, and it's been a pleasure serving, so thank you.
Sure.
Oh, I just want to say it's been a pleasure serving with you, Commissioner Kraske.
Thank you.
Gonna miss you.
Indeed. Well, since we've had the communications section of the agenda, that then takes us to adjournment, and a motion to adjourn would be in order if anybody cares to make it. And if you don't, I will. So I'm going to go ahead and move adjourn. Is
I'll
there a
second.
Motion and a second. Let's go ahead and vote. Unanimously approved. Thank you. Good night.